Hey y'all. I thought I'd hop on here real quick and talk to you about a couple activities you can do with your kids at home. These are two activities that we would have done in the classroom if we were in school. And the first one is letter patterns. I chose this one because we were really working on our names before we were separated. So I want that to continue at home too. But basically what you're going to do is you'll take multiple pieces of construction paper in different colors, which those will be in your packets for next week that will be delivered. You'll cut out squares, and on one side of each square you will put a letter. You can choose to do uppercase or lowercase. If you feel like your child's ready to start learning lowercase letters, then by all means do that. But basically what you're going to do is you'll lay out all of the squares with the letter side facing up, and you'll ask your children, what do you notice about the squares on the table? And just narrate what they notice. You know, they might put their finger on a square that has the letter of their first name on it, and you'll say, wow, yeah, I noticed that you picked up the card that has the letter D on it because that's what your name starts with. And then what you're going to do is demonstrate how to use the materials differently. So you will take a couple of the letter cards and flip them over so it's just the colors showing, and make a simple pattern based off of colors. And self-narrate what you're doing. I'm taking the green one, and now I'm taking the yellow, and I'm going to put another green one by the yellow one. And you know, what is this? What do you think this is? And kind of talk to them about what a pattern is, and say, yes, this is a pattern because green and yellow are taking turns on who comes next. And then you can say, but we can also make patterns out of letters. And then you can flip your cards back over and show them how to make patterns with letters. You can do, you know, T and S. You do T, S, T, S, T, S, and then have them finish the pattern with them. And then you'll say, now it's your turn. I wonder what you will make with the cards. And then you will just kind of narrate what they're doing as you see it. You can give them hints if they're having a hard time. You know, if you feel like they're in a really good place and they understand patterns, and you really want them to start working on just focusing on the letter side of the cards, work with them on that, and then when they finish it, you can offer them to glue it on paper if they want to keep it. But basically the whole point of this activity is to reinforce letters with the children and to reinforce patterns, which are two really big skills that they need to have before they go to kindergarten. So this is a really easy, simple activity to do with the kids, and you can also save the construction paper cards for another day if you want to do this again with them later. And then the second activity is creating a flower sculpture with your child. This activity will require some Play-Doh, which will be in your packs that will be sent to your house next week, and then a photo of, sorry, my phone just like had some weird notification, and then you will also have a photo of a flower, or maybe if you have flowers at your house you can take them outside to look at the flower, but you're just going to talk about what the different pieces of a flower are: the stem, the leaves, the petals, the center of the flower, and then you guys will create one together, and you will narrate what they're doing again, which feels totally silly because your kids might look at you like, I know, because I just did that. I don't need you to tell me that I just did that. But them hearing that language and the way that you're saying it is going to help their vocabulary and sentence structure, so it is really important to do that, even though you feel totally silly doing it. But this activity is going to work on their engaging skills, their persistence, because they might not get it right the first time and they might feel frustrated about that. And it's also going to work on shapes and where to place figuring out what area that shape would work best in the flower, which also ties into their persistence. So you're just going to sit there and work with them, you know, like, tell me about what part of the flower you're making. How are you going to make that? Again, open-ended questions, let them take the lead. And when you're finished, you can either have them keep the flower sculpture the way it is and let it dry out, or you can say, you know, in about 3 minutes we're going to clean up so we can get ready for lunch or whatever you guys have planned. Be consistent with the warnings of how much time they have left, because a transition from something that they're having fun doing, it can be kind of difficult if they don't have a warning before. So definitely give them a warning, and then when they're finished, you can ask them if they would like to save it and let it dry out, or if they want to put it back inside the Play-Doh container so they can make it again later, and just kind of let it be their decision, if you're okay with that. If not, just tell them that it's going to go in the Play-Doh container. We can do it again later. That's up to you all. We would have let it dry out because we would have used clay, but you guys are getting Play-Doh, so it's different. But yeah, those are 2 activities that you can do with your kids at home. I'll have more next week that are things that you can do at your house. I do want to reiterate that this unit is growing, so there are lots of different things to talk about with your kids. It doesn't have to be just plants. You can talk about their bodies growing. You could even show them a picture of themselves from the beginning of this school year and a picture from now, and let them physically see the differences within themselves and how much they've grown from then to today. Anything like that is gonna help bring home the bigger concept of growing and the environment and things like that. So as always, if y'all have questions or need help with anything, just send me an email or a text anytime, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right, bye y'all.